There you go.
Start over.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Mama Martin's Kitchen. Friday afternoon chat and cooking. Today I'm making old-fashioned stew chicken. It's very simple. You can use any part of the chicken. Drumsticks alone. You can cut up a whole chicken. You can use thighs. I'm using thighs. And you prepare the chicken as you would normally prepare chicken. You wash it, clean it up, wash it, and then you season it with my favorite seasoning. You use salt and pepper. You can use salt and black pepper. I use this because this has everything
Bring
that
it
I
up
need.
closer. Oh, Shay said, "Hey, Mama Martin." Hey,
Hey,
Shay. Bring it. Put it like right there.
right here.
Yeah. So we always use adobo for everything. The green cover.
Because they have like 4 different covers, but the green cover is the best. And then I season the chicken with that. I use onion powder, of course, garlic, cumin.
Yeah, lift it up. Sorry. All right, just pass it to me.
Okay.
It's a struggle, but yeah, ground cumin, paprika. Gotta have that.
You must have that to season the chicken. And then I use thyme. This is bought fresh. And then I put it to dry. Now, when it's fresh, I cook it fresh. But then I put it to dry so I can always have it. Because if you don't put it to dry, it gets slimy.
So yeah, we just get this from Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart, almost any supermarket, you
Just
should have
put
it
it up to dry.
in the produce section. And after you finish seasoning the chicken, you put it in a pan with just a little bit of oil, like 2 tablespoons, and then you cook it down.
Lift it up some. So that's the
Can you
chicken that
see?
we cook down.
Yes, that's already cooked down. I'm just waiting to make the stew because you want to get out all of the pink from it. And I make my grandmother used tomato paste. I don't know, you guys, if you're young, if you know what tomato paste is, but it's right in the aisle with tomato sauce and it's just thicker. And she used that. She believed in that. Well, I don't use tomato paste because I don't cook too much stew. Because if you buy too much, you have to put it in the refrigerator and put salt in it to keep it fresh. And I don't eat salt anymore. So I will use tomato ketchup. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Yes, tomato ketchup. And I put a little bit of sugar when I'm heating it up to get started on the gravy to take out this little soury taste because tomato ketchup is not usually sweet. It has sugar in it, but it has a kind of a tart taste, most of them.
And Shay says she uses tomato paste because her mom taught her.
Oh, okay.
They're in Alabama, so you know
Oh,
they be
okay.
throwing down.
Yes.
They be cooking like good old food.
And this will go into the stew also. This is we call them cubes. I think here they call them bouillon.
Yeah,
But you can use, you're supposed to use the chicken because you have chicken, beef, and the vegetable. Now you have much more onion and all sorts of stuff now they have. But the basic thing back in the day was beef, chicken, and then they started making vegetable. I always use vegetable in everything that I cook. I don't use the chicken or the beef.
Now my Microsoft popping up, talking about it's time to renew. All in the middle of the live. But yes, so my mom's gonna be cooking while we talk about settling in relationships. We were having this conversation last night. So for those who don't know me, I am Daily Dell, which everybody, live right now knows me. But if you're catching the replay, my name is Daily Dell, and I talk about business, faith, and life on my channel. So last night the live was super lit. And actually, Shay gave a bomb idea for 2 weeks from now. So thanks again, girl, for that live idea. I already scheduled it and everything. But we were talking about the green flags of a relationship. So when to know when you should date someone, a man in particular, because most of the people that watch my videos are women. And I was like, let me share green flags because we're always talking about red flags. So let's share some green flags. And I was telling my mom, about the live, and we were talking about settling in relationships, because those who were in the live know that Michelle got her a good man, honey. Okay. And so we were talking about that. And I was like, wait, we should talk about this on the live tomorrow. So we're going to talk about why you shouldn't settle and just all of that. My mom's going to give good advice. You know, I'm already share some stories and stuff. And we're just going to enjoy ourselves for the next, like, just about hour or so. And also, if you see me moving around the kitchen, I am a true content creator. So I'm going to try to kill two birds with one stone, do this live and capture my mom making this stewed chicken so I can put it up as an upload later so you could actually see the process. So I'm gonna be talking, but yeah, I'm gonna be moving around the kitchen and stuff like that. So I won't always be in the frame, but you will hear me. And sorry it's a little dark. My lamp needs to charge. So I need to charge the battery that I use, my LED light. So it's not as bright as it.
If you bring that lamp over there, you think that will help?
Yeah, let me try that.
Because the shade of that is a dimming kind of shade, but it might help a little bit.
Let me try that. But we are about to throw down, y'all. We're about to throw all the way down. So you want to start talking about your expertise? Why are you an expert on relationships? What qualifies you to even have this conversation, Mom?
Because I'm old.
Well, I mean,
I'm almost 71 years old, and I'm old school. We were brought up in the good old days with lots of different values that are not even told to children these days. And everything that we did was based around rules and laws and things that are in the Bible that you should and shouldn't do.
And you also have been married for many years. Like that, that's a big deal. And a happy, successful marriage, not just married and miserable, but a happy, successful marriage.
Yes, because I would say most women, because not everybody wants to be married and have kids and this kind of stuff, but most women would like to be married and to have a family and to have a good husband. But wanting to be married, you cannot settle. You cannot be anxious.
That part.
You can't let them think that you're desperate, because then they will use you. Even though you may be desperate, you must never let them see you sweat, as the commercial said.
Mm-hmm.
Know your value. And this is something you have to start working on in your teen years. You know your value. Always look yourself in the mirror. Doesn't matter what anybody else think. It's what you think. And you look yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself what you think of you. You're beautiful. You're smart. You love God. You have a lot of things to bring to the table. You're very talented, and all your talents, you read them out. And then you write these things down and you put it on the wall or next to the mirror or wherever. And you make sure that you know what you're worth. Because if you don't know what you're worth, you can be easily swayed.
And I will also say, as parents, we should also do the job of affirming our children. So even though, because peer pressure is real, so I always say I grew up in a loving household. Like, you and Dad always affirmed me, said how beautiful we were, how smart, all of that, how proud you are. But when you go out in the world and you're constantly comparing yourself, that's why they say comparison is a thief of joy. Because now you're looking at everybody else and you're like, well, how come she's getting chose, especially in those teenage years? Like I shared it on my channel before, where it's like, all of my best friends were the hot girls. They were the girls that every guy, like, literally broke his neck to get to, just couldn't get enough of them. They would literally come to me and ask, like, hey, can you hook me up with your homegirl type thing? And so when you always are in that kind of line of fire, for lack of better terms, it makes you feel like, well, dang, how come no one's picking me? Like, how come no one's inquiring about me? What's wrong with me? It's really tough, especially in your teenage years.
And that's true. But most times, these young men, because a lot of them are taught good values at home, but they come out and they do something different. They know when they see a weak person and somebody that they can toss all over the place. Because you people not rushing to talk to you is nothing new, because I was the same way. People didn't like me. Most young men didn't like me because they said, I don't smile. Why am I smiling with you? I don't know you. You're talking nonsense. You're wasting my time. You have nothing to offer. So there's nothing to smile about, because I'm saying one thing, you are saying something else. So I was never, and I was very short, as they call it. They say something to me, and I answer very short, one-word answers, and that was it. And so you have to make up in your mind, and that's hard to do when you have friends who are there. And but back in the day, back in our day, we had pressure, but it was different.
Well, I think back in the day too. You can start cooking if you want, because I'm ready to taste.
Okay.
But I think back in the day too, it was just a different lifestyle overall. I think people pretty much knew that there's a high likelihood that they would get married, because that's what you did. You went to school, you graduated, you got married, you had kids. Like, that's just what we do.
And the boys were trained and taught that they have to get married.
Exactly.
When you get qualified, you get married, you raise a family, and that's what you do.
In some places in this country in particular, I can't speak to other countries, but in some cities and stuff in America, you still kind of see that. But I think it depends on the circles you move in, because I know people that live in small towns who are still struggling. But for the most part, we use avocado oil as well. Sorry, but and we get this at Aldi. It's cheap.
Yes, it's at Costco and everywhere else, but Aldi's the best brand.
Yeah, but needless to say, it depends, because in some small towns, I know people who are struggling to find somebody, but I feel like a lot of them don't have as much of a struggle. I don't know. It depends on your circle and so many other things.
So I pour some oil in the pan.
Oh, can you repeat that?
Oil. I just poured the oil in the pan. It's like about
wait, I gotta press record. Sorry, y'all. Okay, now you can repeat it.
Okay. I just poured the oil in the pan. It's like about 2 tablespoons, because you don't want it too oily. And then, as soon as that oil gets hot, not too hot, because I don't want to burn myself.
Then you'll throw the chicken in?
No, the onions.
Okay.
This is a medium onion that I chop.
Hold on. Okay, repeat again.
1 medium onion.
Okay. So it's let's see. Does the avocado oil have a taste? Not really. It doesn't have a strong taste, in my opinion.
No, it doesn't. Even if you fry eggs and all that with it, you don't taste the avocado.
It's not like peanut oil or something where you can taste it.
And even olive oil, some brands,
you
have a
can
very
taste
strong taste. Okay, I'm going to keep turning this onion up to saute, but I'm not going to put in the garlic yet, because the onion takes longer to cook than the garlic.
Just repeat what you just said.
I'm not going to put in the garlic yet, because the onion takes longer to get that sheen in it than the garlic. The garlic would start to burn before the onion is even sauteed properly.
Okay, so wait, did I even record that clip?
Which clip?
Oh, I didn't even press record. Hold on. The struggle of trying to multitask. But yeah, so with let me get this clip and then I'll finish saying what I was saying. Because I have my phone on the charger. All right, so 1, 2, 3.
Okay, this is the onion, and it's in the oil, and I'm letting it saute, because you want to do the onion and you start to see that sheen in the onion from the oil. And then we add your garlic, and I have scallions that I cut up, green onions.
Okay, so another point as to when you're ready for the next big step is when you know.
Okay, this is the garlic coming in.
Oh wait, I'm not even taking it. Let me know in the pan.
Okay,
all right.
Just throw the garlic in.
Wait, 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
Yes, I just throw the garlic into it with the onions. Just about 4 little sprigs of the garlic, and then I'm going to let that cook down for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to add the green onions.
Okay, now I'm not recording. So when you're about to throw the green onions, let me know.
Okay.
So yeah, when it boils down to settling in relationships too, another reason why you don't want to do it is because honestly, you're gonna end up settling. You're gonna compromise on your values, your morals, whatever. And at the end of the day, chances are you're still not gonna get what you're looking for. And any man that's willing to just basically completely disregard your convictions, completely disregard your standards, your preferences, not even preferences so much, but your standards and your convictions and your values, then that's a man that you don't need to be with. You know, and I'm speaking from experience because maybe you're like, okay, like who are you? You know, and stuff like that. But those who follow me, you know I'm a single mom. And you know that it's an absentee situation, meaning that I get zero help from my son's father. And in the moment, it's all fun. It's all, woo-hoo, yeah, this is great. We having a blast. You know, I'm grown. I can do what I want. Hold on. But it's like, yeah, I can do what I want. It's all fun and games. We having a blast. But then when reality sets in, and let's be honest, like, you know, as a woman, you might get pregnant or something like that. Now you sit here like, wait, how did I get here type of thing, you know? And it's very easy in the moment to just enjoy the ride, enjoy the fun, and beat, whatever, whatever. But more often than not, when those situations pop up, you're left to your own devices, you know? Very rarely does it end where it's like, oh, we got married, or at least we're co-parenting in a healthy relationship, and this, that, the third. And that's a major, because I literally just had a call with my prayer partner. Um, we try to meet once a week or at least once every other week. And I was telling her about my dating experiences and how, of course, waiting seems to be a big point of contention where it's all good. Oh, hold on. Finish your sentence. It's all good, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're a great catcher, this or that." But the minute you bring up you're not trying to hop in bed, it's like all your good qualities go to the side. Like now, that don't even matter. You could be, you know, the best future wife that he'll ever know, and he'll still be like, "Nah, like I need to cheat," you know. And it's just a shame because me and my prayer partner were just talking about that. That a lot of young women are feeling like, "What's wrong with me?" So there is a wave, there is a next generation of women who are looking, not even just women, men too. I know this guy on social media, his whole page is sex can wait a while, and he's engaged. Well, he's probably married by now, but he was engaged. He's in Philly. His fiance was older than him, and their whole thing was, of course, abstinence. And a lot of men follow him, and so there's just like a new generation of people overall that are just looking to abstain and looking to not have to put themselves out there like that. Because
exactly somebody. If you have to tell these men exactly what you will and will not do. Just be honest. They either accept you for who you are or they walk. And anytime you see they walk, they won't really worth it anyway. Because if you cannot even meet someone halfway, then you're low. So you don't need, and most of them that would behave like that, they can't give you what you need because they can't lead. Some of them don't even know how many books in the Bible.
some of them don't even know themselves.
They don't know who
They
they
have
are.
zero conviction.
Exactly.
If you were to really ask, because there's guys, let me get this clip and then I'll finish what I'm saying. Hold on, y'all. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm gonna add the ketchup to give me the color that I need. And then I also add paprika to get extra color if I need more color.
And do you want to list out the seasonings real quick when you're done with the ketchup so I can get the clip? But
the seasonings I'm gonna put in it.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing that I put in it.
Yeah, but I want you to hold it up to the camera. So
okay.
Whenever you get a chance. So yeah, a lot of them, they don't really have the convictions either. You know, when you really sit and you talk to them, you're like, okay, well, what are you convicted on? Like, what are things that you don't want in a relationship or that you want or whatever? They really have nothing to say. But they absolutely have nothing to say. I can't tell you how many times I talk to a guy and I'm like, yeah, what's your conviction? Like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And they're like, I didn't even think of that. But it's like, bruh, you know, like you should be thinking about this, especially in our age bracket. This is something that should have came across your mind by now, you know.
Okay, I don't know a little bit of sugar, not much.
Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3.
This is about a quarter teaspoon. Okay, just to make sure that it doesn't have that sour taste.
Make sure you say what you're adding when I'm done counting down, because the quick stuff will merge. But you know, a lot of them, they just don't think about that, and for them, it's all a good time. But like I said, it's a good time until it's not a good time anymore. And it's not even just about settling when it comes to sex. I think that's a big thing that we struggle with, especially as the generations go by. But it could be settling in your faith walk. You know, do you need a man that can really pray over you? Because that's something that can be hard to find. A man who can really cover you in prayer, cover you spiritually. You know, I know for me that's something I definitely need because I know as my platform increases and I know the obstacles that I'm up against, I know the things that I struggle with. I know I need a praying man. I know I need a man that's like, okay, we're gonna pray over you, like we're gonna make sure that you're good, and this and that, the third. And that he really wants to do it. He really has a relationship with God. Hold on. Make sure you say what it is.
Okay, this
Wait, not yet. I've got to count down and you start talking. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm adding the paprika. That's gonna have to give it a nice red color. Onion powder. The Goya seasoning, and this seasoning, I don't say how much to put because you will start putting, and then as you taste, you add things to your taste. Because it's the stew or whatever you're making, this is the cumin. Has to be to your taste. So as you add your stuff and you start this, you taste to see if it has the taste you want. If not, you add more things. I just have 2 cubes here. What did I do with it?
So hopefully you guys on the live can hear what my mom is saying too, as far as the stuff she's taking. All right, let me count them again. 1, 2, 3.
This is I'm using 2 of these, which is this. It's vegetarian, but it comes in chicken. And since you're making stew chicken, you can use the chicken. So I need to see to open this. I always struggle to open this thing. Or you see the starch.
So, but yeah, it could be like, I know I need someone who can pray over me because I struggle with anxiety. And then, like I said, as my platform grows and more people are looking to me as like a mentor leader type, I need a man that can cover me in prayer. And I need a man who has a genuine walk with God. You know, I'm not one of those people that is like, he's got to have some big position in the church. He's got to have this gift or that gift. But I need to know that he definitely puts God first in what he does. Like at the end of the day, when it's all said
I'm
and
just
done.
adding a little bit of water.
Oh, you get that clip.
Not too much for the chicken. Because I struggle to open the cubes because I don't see. So everything for me is by feeling, and it takes forever to open. So I'm putting a little bit of water to make sure it's not overcooked. The other chicken.
You must have thrown it in the pot and all.
Yes, well, I find the beginning because I'm just moving my fingernail together.
But yeah, so whatever it is, don't settle, you know. And I think that there's always lots of conversations about not settling, know your worth and add tax and stuff. But you want to make sure that what you're not settling on are actual foundational things. So a lot of times we're like, I'm not gonna settle. He gotta be 6'2". Like that's right. Like, and trust me, I'm tall. I'm 5'11". Okay, you can see my height right here compared to my mom when she's 5'4". But it's just like
don't take away inch from me. I'm 5'5".
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Rochelle's 5'4". Sorry, Rochelle's my sister. But either way, they're shorter than me by a couple inches, and it's obvious. And it took me years to get to a point where it's like, you know what? He doesn't have to be 6'5", chiseled chest, even though I was never pressed about body type. But, you know, needless to say, it's like he don't have to be towering over me. Would that be nice? Yes. But in reality, the chances of that happening and him meeting other more important qualifications is slim because let's be honest, the guys that meet these qualifications, they know that they're highly coveted. They know every woman wants them. And they 9 times out of 10 in my experience, because again, I can only speak from my experience, my life, and my observations, they don't take you seriously because they know that you're a dime a dozen. You know, like if they lose you today, they got another you by this afternoon. They don't really care. I mean, they just act accordingly, especially in the church. Okay, let's not sit here and act like churchmen are saints, because sometimes they be the devil in disguise. Okay, like they be playing that music, those musicians, they be on stage playing the bass, keyboard, whatever, and they trying to lure you in with their gift, you know, because they know women go to church and they're like, oh my gosh, like I would love a godly man, and if he's halfway decent looking, he's tall, he's in church, and don't let him be serving. Okay, he gonna be out here playing you for a fool. You already know, Shay. You already know. So it's like, am I saying that? Oh, hold on, y'all. The multitasking is real. If you're a content creator, make sure that you kill two birds with one stone. Like, it's who has the time to be doing all this all over again. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, this is the cube, and all you do is just crush it and put it in, stir it in, and then I'm gonna put the chicken and coat the chicken, and then I'm going to add the water. Then add the water for the stew, because the water is hot water. Because I always put hot boiling water in my food. I don't put cold water in my food.
Okay. So, yeah, like when it comes down to that, you got to just know, like, I'm not going to settle. And I'm not saying go out there and find, you know, the first worldly man you can find or whatever. But like I said in my Q&A, I think it was a couple of months ago, I'm like, honestly, the men that I meet that are, quote unquote, more worldly, quote unquote, or more surface level, they're more willing to learn and to work with me. You know, and sometimes it's a matter of like, they grew up in church and then kind of like got away from it. And other times they really just, they're surface level, like they know God exists. But really, a phone call right now, some 866 number, like they believe God exists, but they just don't have the knowledge of, you know, in-depth biblical principles and things like that, but they're willing to learn. A lot of times when I meet men who are like churched out, they're coming with their Pharisee type attitude, like, you know, if you don't do this, if you don't have this gift, if you don't have that gift, then I'm not going to talk to you. Like, I'm refraining from saying.
I'm adding this to the
Oh, hold on, wait. Oh, yeah, you can tell them on the live. And then I'll get the clip again.
Oh, okay. This is just baby potatoes. You can use, I don't have big potatoes, you know, the big ones, and then you cut it, cube it, or you just cut it into 4 or 6 if you want them fat. So I love these. And so I'm going to use this. Sometimes I put carrots, but I don't have whole carrots.
The baby potatoes.
Is it the baby potatoes?
I don't even know if y'all can see because the way my webcam is set up.
You can see it?
Yeah. So we're just using some. I'm trying to make sure I don't spill water. Like, yeah, look at these baby potatoes. And then it goes up in flames. I'm like, yeah. But oh, let me get the clip for the video, and then I'll continue my thoughts. All right, why is it out of focus? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I just added the baby potatoes. This is what it looks like. They're not all the same size. Some are a little bigger, some are a little smaller. And I add that to the stew, and then I'm going to add, see, some are a little smaller. And then I'm going to add the water and let it cook to get a flavor. All right, and somewhere along the line, I'm going to taste it.
All right, so like I was saying, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm specifically not saying a certain gift because it's a controversial thing, and I'm still debating if I want to at some point do a video about it because it is a gift that the church is really divided on, has been for some decades. But this year, that gift has been the point of contention with me and 2 guys I was talking to, dating, you know, whatever you want to call it, because we just didn't see eye to eye on it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like I disagreed. It's just that I wasn't saying exactly what they wanted me to say, you know, and I wasn't like, oh yeah, like I definitely see, you know, what you're saying, and I believe it exactly how you believe it. I just was convicted differently on it. And they just did not want to hear that. And so, needless to say, it gets very real in these streets with the churchmen. And they can really castrate you sometimes and make you feel like, well, dang, like you making me feel like I'm just all the way a heathen because I'm not convicted on this thing the same way as you, and you have no grace whatsoever when it comes to this topic. Like I'm sitting here trying to compromise, trying to be like, okay, yeah, like let's come to something, some sort of conclusion, something. And you just like, no, you have to see it exactly how I see it. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you the time of day, and I'm holier than you, type of thing.
Okay, just cover it for a couple of minutes for it to boil up, and then I'm going to get my taste.
So that's my whole thing about that. But Mom, you want to chime in because I've been clapping my gums for like 20 minutes. And feel free to comment you guys' opinion as well. And if you're on the replay, leave comments. Like we like extended conversation.
Yeah, it would be nice to. Your husband is a church guy. You don't have to say, well, it's 6 o'clock. We need to get up so we can get ourselves and the kids ready to go to church. 95% of them will get up with no problem, but they're not enthusiastic, just jumping up and waking up everybody to go. They will go. But it would be nice to have one of those but most of them think too much of themselves because they think that they have a special path into heaven. And as you all know, trust me, they don't have a hell to put you in, nor a heaven. So
Period.
They don't need to be telling you what you should and shouldn't do. The gifts that you have is what God will give, that's given to you, and you will work with those gifts. They don't get a chance to tell you any of that. Because a lot of them, with that speaking in tongues thing, a lot of them,
definitely not trying to say it, and you. Yeah? I thought I was trying not to say it, but you just came out and said it.
See, I'm
Lord have mercy. You about to have them in your comments attacking you. Like, what do you mean?
A lot of them are fake. If you're going to speak in tongues, you have to be able to speak so that somebody in that congregation can translate what you said and what is the message you're giving. But if everybody in there talking and nobody's translating and nobody knows what anybody said, it's not real. And if you're going to put your whole life on, well, okay, I have to do this because the church is doing this. That's not right either. As I said, know yourself and your value. You may be going to a church that they do that, but you're not gifted with that. You're gifted with other things that you can do in the church and help with in the church and teach in the church. So, do not settle for men. If they cannot understand that this is what you believe in, this is what you're going to do, and this is what you would like them to do, you're listening to them, because most times we listen and we try to meet them halfway, but they want to control everything. And then a lot of them love to tell you about I have to lead. Well, before you tell me you have to lead, I got to see how you're living your life and if you lead it. Because if your life is a wreck, you don't even know how to live your life, so you can't lead me. And they tell you all this kind of stuff. And then that's when you say, well, I am waiting until I get married to have sex. Well, I'm sorry, I can't wait. Well, you can't wait. Leave.
And that's the thing about it for me, where it's like, okay, if you're going to harp, because since you went ahead and just opened the whole Pandora's box, I was trying to save your channel, but you haven't even hit 100 subs yet. I'm telling you, if they catch wind of this, they're going to be in your comments tearing you up. Because this is I've seen people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and people are arguing in the comments, which is great for engagement though. But for your peace of mind, it's probably not the best because I got to be managing these comments. But needless to say, I've had that situation happen twice this year. Where it's like, okay, you're talking about tongues, you're talking about this, you're talking about that. Can you pass me that brush? I got to brush up.
Where's the brush?
Over there on my camera. And
you're doing your hair on
off camera. I'm not in the screen. But it's like that was their big thing, and they knew where I stood, especially the one. He knew where I stood on this from the jump, but he still pursued me. So to me, it's like if you're going to pursue me and you knew this, then you already knew what you were getting into. But he pursued me, I think, with the idea of like, all right, I'm gonna change your mind. I'm gonna convert you type thing.
That's all.
And I'm like, nah, I'm pretty clear on this. Now, do I think it's wrong or unbiblical? No, but I don't think that it's a sign of salvation where it's like everybody got to do this, otherwise you're not saved type of thing. I think it's truly a gift, Can you seek that gift? Yes. But ultimately, it's up to God to give it to you. And I don't think that if you don't speak in tongues, like you're not a saved person. So, point blank, period. And he was just like harping on it, harping on it, harping on it. But when it came down to saving ourselves and doing something that is very clearly a commandment, then it was like, oh, nah, like, and that's the thing where it's like, are you kidding me right now? You willing to basically have me sit here question my whole salvation and everything, but then you trying to get me into bed, and you're not even at least attempting to say, like, let's at least try to save ourselves, or whatever the case may be. So, I've had very rocky interactions with the quote unquote saved men, or godly men. I mean, do I think that they're saved and there's fruit of the spirit? Absolutely. But I think that they live a double life, at least the ones I've come across, and they're hypocritical in their mind, and they're very haughty because it's like, well, I've got this gift, so I'm extra saved. I know what it does for me, type of thing. And it's just like, bro, like, the arrogance of like, I'm better than you and I know it, even though they'll say, oh, I'm not looking down on you, but your whole energy right now is like, I'm better than you, I'm more righteous than you, type thing. So, needless to say, I've had points where I'm like, I'm done with Christians. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with y'all. Like,
Yeah, so early in the year you were done with Christians.
I was done. I was like, because I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of always having to jump through hoops and prove myself and show, oh, yeah, see, I'm saved. I believe in this. Yeah, see, like, I'm a righteous woman. I was like, nah, I'm good. Like,
no, if you have to do all of that to get to be married to somebody.
And it's not even just in marriage, just in groups in general. I feel like it becomes very competitive, where it's like, show me, like, show me that you're saved.
So I can somebody might show you anything.
So I could give you my cosign. It's like, bruh, So, needless to say,
my husband is a gentleman. He's so, easygoing. It's like, what makes you happy? He knows me to a T. He knows exactly what he has to do, and I won't question. If he's going to buy a car for himself or whatever, he knows exactly what he's going to do and get it. If I can't go with him to help him pick it up. But when it came to his clothes, he was so lazy. He was no. I have to go to work. I said, but you have to go to the mall with me. He said, no, women walk from store to store. They don't know what they want. He said, no, if you would go to the mall with me and you're going to pick a store, and we're going to go in that store and you're going to buy whatever you need, and then we leave, I'm going. If not, I'm not going.
Right.
I said, but it's your clothes. He said, I know, but then when you buy it, it's nice. So buy it and do what you think and do whatever. Spend the whole day at the mall if you so choose. But I'm not going. But, that was not even true, because he used to go when it's time to buy for the children. So he could be up in the mall causing trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And when I'm saying that you can only get 5 outfits, he want to buy the whole store. Well, no, you're not a millionaire, so you can't buy the whole store. So you have to choose. You got to help me choose. No, just buy it. That was his attitude. He said the argument isn't worth it. And if you love your family, you just work with the family. So I didn't have any serious problems with him, because he was not in the argument. He liked to lie down in his bed when he finished helping to clean up and whatever, and watch old movies, and they hear him laughing. They want to know, what are you laughing at? Oh, this old comedy and whatever. He didn't have that kind of nonsense. So when I hear this foolishness from this generation, what they call the people in the 30s or whatever?
Millennials.
Whatever. With all this arguing and this and that, and you want to lead. You don't have to force a woman in your life telling her you want to lead.
Generally speaking, because, again, with YouTube is a land of trolls. So you got to put a million disclaimers. Of course, we're not talking about all of you. Of course, we know there are women that don't submit. Like, we know this. We're just talking in general. If she is your average woman and she feels like she can respect you and trust you, you don't have to force submission down her throat. Because relationships are naturally a dance of submission. It's naturally like,
exactly.
Okay. And most women don't want to have to steer the ship. For real, it's tiring. I've been in that situation before where it's like, I got to do everything. And I'm just like, why are you here, bro? Like, I'm tired. Help a sister out.
Yeah, my husband didn't want to do it because he's an accountant. And he said all week long he's balancing somebody's book and some problem and who did what. He said, you know what? I don't need this. So I'm going to put the money in the bank. The money is there. You know what you're supposed to do. Do your thing. And if you want something extra that is not in the regular salary, let me know in advance so I can work around it and find it. That was it, because he didn't want to do accounting in the house again. But I still didn't make all of these decisions on my own because that's not what I'm supposed to do. I would run it by him, and he would say, "Well, okay, we can afford this, we can afford that, or I'm going to get the money to do the extra, or whatever the case may be," and that's it. But if you're doing the right things, you don't have to be forcing that down anybody's throat, because
Especially
most
when you
people
keep,
would just.
especially when you keep harping on it, like you gotta submit, you gotta submit, submit, submit. So it's like, bruh, I heard you the first 10,000 times. You gotta keep saying it over and over and over. Like, we heard you, okay? Relax. What is the problem? Like, why do you feel like you have to keep bringing it up every chance you get? It's just weird. It's very weird. But and then too, a lot of times we settle out of fear because we feel like we won't get any better, or we feel like, oh wait, I'm not even the screen. We feel like we won't get any better, or we're fearful that this is going to be the only connection we get, and so we settle because it's like, man, it took me so long to get to this one, and he is halfway decent. He does have his problems, but I could work through it. And then you end up sticking around, but you got to wake up and smell the coffee and be like, one, you got to realize that humans are made to connect. Connections are meant to be had in life. Like, this ain't the only guy that you're ever going to connect with. Right now, as we speak, there's probably somebody in Mumbai, India, that if you met them, it will be like love at first sight. There's somebody in London, England right now. If you met them, y'all will be two peas in a pod. Like, there is just a matter of getting out. So one, if you find yourself being fearful and tempted to settle, then you got to ask yourself, what, as women, especially, am I exercising my options? This is why I'm a fan of multi-dating. And people will be like, oh, multi-dating is bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually wise in this day and age. But you have to know, one, when enough is enough. So you can't multi-date your life away. Like, the point's going to come where you have to say, okay, I'm going to pick one of these guys and really focusing on him because he's showing me the most interest or integrity or whatever. And you take it from there. But also, it allows you to get to know multiple guys. And remember that you can connect with multiple people. Like, so you don't put all your eggs in one basket and you're like, oh my gosh, like, it has to be him. Of course, to each their own, whichever one you prefer. But as women, I think a lot of times we end up just sitting as sitting ducks, especially as Christian women. We can sometimes just be like, I just got to sit and wait to be found. And it's like, are you exercising your options? Are you going out? Are you meeting people? Are you connecting with people? Because your social circle has a big effect on who you meet too. So if you don't have a social circle, that's the first problem. And if you have a social circle, maybe they're all married, and maybe they're just not able to connect with people, or they're not willing to. Oh, no problem, Shay. Shay says she's listening and working. Oh, no problem. Maybe they're just not willing to, or they're not able to. Because I've had friends like that in in marriages, and I'm like, hey, like, can you get me in the same room with your single friends? And they're just like, oh, no, I don't want to hook you up. I don't want to do that. So sometimes people are like that. Like, the whole energy is like, I got mine, you get yours. But just know that if you're feeling that fear to settle, it probably is rooted in some fear. And if you're having fear that you're never going to find somebody again, why is that? Like, are you not getting out enough? Are you not connecting with people enough? Like, are you keeping yourself hidden? Because he ain't just going to find you in your house. Like, you got to go out, you got to do stuff, And online dating is a good way to try. But of course, like, do what feels comfortable for you. So if you prefer to meet people in person, start joining some meetups and go out and meet people, because you might not meet him in that group, but you might meet him out and about wherever y'all go or whatever, But if you don't mind online dating, then do that as well. Like, definitely get on a good site. I prefer Hinge. Hinge sponsor us, okay? Particularly me, because my mom's married. But I think Hinge is good, and Facebook dating are good. They can be slow, but I feel like when you meet someone, you connect, it's a little bit better quality. Like, Plenty of Fish and all them, that is just the lion's den. I would not even go on them, because honestly, I feel like when you sign up for Plenty of Fish, like, you're at the brink of desperation, for real. Like, so I wouldn't.
Wasn't it?
Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish.
Tony Gaskins called it Plenty of Sharks, because it's
the name is not even right.
It's like plenty of fish in the sea type of. I get it, but it's just like, yeah, you meet a whole bunch of weirdos on there. I met some crazy dude. I have a story time actually planned where I met this dude who is an actual OG in a gang, and he sat and told me his whole rap sheet, like active crimes and stuff like that, y'all. So I'm just like, oh, child. I block them so quick. But needless to say, when you feel that desperation, you got to ask yourself, like, why am I settling for this dude? Or you just, or maybe you see a lot of your friends getting married. Because that was a big one for me. And again, as Christian women, I think that's a really, really tough spot for us because the church highly caters to families, you know,
True.
wives, husbands. Like you could go to any church and they got everything set up for families. The couple marriage ministry, you know, women's ministry is typically filled a lot of times with married women. The children's ministry, the children get a lot of attention. Families are really just as easy for them to connect. Yeah, let's get the kids together on a play date. This other third, you know, husbands going to men's ministry together, wives going to women. It's just easy for them to merge together. But as a single, you kind of come in there looking weird. A lot of the time. And as a single mom, it's not that easy either because it's like I don't fit into any one group. I'm not always single, like no kids, no attachments. So I can't just up and go places like a lot of singles, but I'm also not married. And I don't like to hang around married couples because women be feeling like you're trying to steal their man, or they feel like, oh, that harlot, that single mother getting too close to the husband type of thing. So I'm just like, and I'm like, ain't nobody even what your man says, period. And I'm not even that type of woman in the first place. But exactly. So I'm just like, it's hard. Shay said, I believe in multi-dating as well. Yeah, like I try to put my mama on game because she be coming with these old-fashioned tips. And I'm like, this is 2021. You come in with things that worked in the 60s, 70s when there was still a grain of moral fiber in the world. Now we have no moral.
We used to be introduced by family members, people in the church. Because since you reach a certain age, everybody in the church eyeing you up and they know your family and they're thinking, this person might be good for David. And then they're whispering, these old people used to always be whispering, and you don't know what they're whispering about. And you didn't really care because you weren't thinking anything. And they're pretty much picking your husband for you, and then they're pushing you out to talk. And then you used to have a lot of activities in the church back then. Maybe churches still do have them, but
I feel like some churches are better than
some
others.
Churches are,
like,
some churches it just doesn't.
Like both of our old churches in Maryland, they have really good singles ministries where people have gotten married and stuff. But they're also very big churches, and they're also very well known. And especially the last one we went to, which is Zion Church. You guys probably see it a lot in my stories where I tag them on Instagram and Facebook. That pastor battle doesn't play when it comes to the single. Like he will literally be like, if you're single, stand up, come to the front. Okay, y'all look around, get a good look at each other's faces. After service, I want to see you connected in the lobby. Like they plan whole picnics and outings. I'm actually part of their singles group on Facebook, and they had like 3 outings already. They went to a bowling alley or something. They went to a park that had like different activities. And then they did something else, and they're planning the next trip. I'm like, dang, I wish I was local. But next time I'm in town, I'm gonna join them on one of those trips. But they're really good. But a lot of churches I see,
a big event coming up Christmas.
A lot of churches I see the singles ministry is either non-existent or it's all women, and it's like that 1 or 2 men that come in,
exactly,
and then they're like swarmed upon like fresh meat, like you know. And I am not about to be sitting here clawing my way through to compete. Like I don't have the time or the energy. Shay said, that's my issue. I don't have a social circle that can hook a girl up. Right. The struggle is real. Like one of my ex-best friends, when she was married, she tried, but her husband was so stingy. He was like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, dude, all I'm asking is that you get me in the same room. I'm not asking you to literally pitch me and tell him my life story and all that. Like, just get me in the same room. I can do the rest, you know? But people be acting so stingy about that. Like
the elderly in our time, that's why it was not easy to get married. But you got married and you got good picks because the older people in the church, the grandmothers and the mothers, they've already been married. They know what they're looking for the daughter, granddaughter, or the neighbor daughter, because sometimes they ain't even thinking about their daughter because she's too young. They're getting in the neighbor business, and then they're going home from church and they start telling the neighbor, you know, I see so-and-so and I'm going to invite the mother over by my house for dinner, or we're going to have Friday night get together prayer service. Be there and bring so-and-so. Because they wanted you to get married, and young men were trained to get married and to be respectful.
And then
you just didn't meet somebody in the street and say, you had to, it's weird, but this is how they did it. You had to talk to their parents. You had to write a letter asking to visit their home. And then after they agree to that, whenever they do a recap, it's not properly written, they send it back to you and say it's not properly written, and they correct the grammar and everything and exactly how they want it to be. And then you have to come to their house with your mother. And then once you start visiting the home, no public appearances until engagement. You have to write and ask for hands in engagement and to be married at the same time. And you have to give a time frame after the engagement for the marriage. So there was order. And then back in the day also, when Guyana was British Guyana, was a colonial country, there was something called breach of promise. When you write that letter and you don't keep what you say that you're gonna do, and you don't follow the steps, and you leave that girl and break her heart, you are going to jail. Because all your mother got to do is go up the road to the police station, as we call it, and you talk to the sergeant. And the next thing you know, they're coming down the road on the bicycle and they're going straight to his house. When the mother said, well, why are you here, Sergeant so-and-so? For your son. He broke up with so-and-so, so he's being arrested for breach of promise. You see, if we had those things still, these men, that the things that they do, they would have been more circumspect.
And honestly, like, what was I gonna say? Oh, just the value on marriage was higher back then too. Like now, a lot of people are jaded by marriage, and I mean, we can't talk about marriage being valued and not talk about the social economic status of people back then. You know, women were more dependent on husbands and things. So there definitely are background things at play. But I just feel like overall, old-fashioned values were respected. Even if you didn't hold to it, people had a higher regard, had a higher regard for them. Even if you weren't a believer, like Christian principles and ideas were still respected. Like, yeah, like that's good. We should be doing that. But now, like a lot of people are just jaded by marriage for various reasons. And then too, there is more independence for women these days. But I think sometimes it can be at the expense. Not all the time, because I feel like more often than not, nowadays when you level up, for lack of better terms, like you find better matches. But I think in some cases it could be to our own detriment if your like whole life is just work in your career. I'm working on getting out there, going out to eat tonight. Never know who's. Yes, come on. Actually, I do have. Sorry, Mama. Block. This is
going out to eat.
Shay. Are you going out by yourself? Because I actually have a video I think planned for my dating series about ways that you can meet a guy. And I told Michelle this, and now Michelle is in a whole boo situation. Okay, like I really do need to become a relationship and life coach. Like Michelle, you were right last night. But like going out by yourself, I used to do this a lot in the DMV, and I'm slacking. I'm gonna start doing that, and not like, oh, I'm working and I stop to get something to eat. I mean, I'm actually gonna make it intentional. I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna go out and get something.
Needs a date.
No, I don't like because Christian, if he don't like someone, which I mean that would be good, but at the same time, some dudes use your children to get you.
Exactly, they want any and everybody to use his profile.
Exactly. Then they'll be like, oh, I could be a stepfather.
No,
so it's like, right, chill out. Me and Michelle were talking about that the other day too. When they try to use the kids as an end, but going out by yourself and sitting, like if you have like bar top tables. So I know when you go to Applebee's and when you go to Fridays. They typically have those tables by the bar, not directly at the bar, but by the bar, and they're at the same height as the bar. So like if people are walking around and stuff, they kind of pass by you. If you get one of those tables and you order like something cute, don't be down in a rack of ribs or something like that. I mean, but at the same time, if that's how you eat, that could be a good way to meet someone. But try to keep it cute, get yourself a nice drink. If you do drink, then get a cocktail or something. Don't get sloppy drunk, of course, be responsible. But just chill, savor the food. Don't eat fast, take your time, and just be available. Don't be in your phone. Don't be all, on the phone, in the phone, and text, whatever. And try to sit near some men that you see, not a whole group, but preferably like if it's like one or two, maybe three, try to sit near them, not right next to them because you'll look thirsty, but just try to sit like near, like close. You don't want to be like, oh, they're single men, and you're like sitting right next to them, because they'll be like, whoa, chill out, But just sit in proximity. Like, okay, if he has to go to the bathroom or something, he has to pass by my table. And I'm telling you, every single time I did that, I met men out in public. Now, at this time, I used to drink a lot more back then, so I was at the bar. But, I still drink. I would have like a glass of wine or something, but I would sit near the bar now, and I would just get like a nice, cute little mixed cocktail or something, and I would get into conversation. And preferably for me, I like older men. I'm not talking granddad status or nothing, but, nah, like we're not doing that. But I like men who are typically like 37 and up, 37 to like 45, 46. They can't be my brother's age either, because then that's just weird. But because he's 48 almost, but
that age about it.
Yeah, even though he can't say squat, but
exactly.
but he definitely would say something exactly. but they tend to do best with me. I don't like being around people my age. It's just too much. I don't know. It just feels really young and silly. I'm definitely not younger because it's too much young blood. I mean, it's they're too. You could tell like they're feeling themselves, and a lot of times they're doing the most. A whole gang shade. That's a story time I have scheduled for the next couple of weeks because y'all said you want my story times. The one time I dated one person and we weren't actually committed, wasting my time. Okay, those situationships are real. Like that happened to me somewhat this year. Actually, it started last year with who in Alabama. I'm not saying his name because we ain't giving him no free clout, but but that was a whole situationship. Wasted a year of my time, and it was so up and down. So 1 minute it was like, oh, we're going somewhere. Okay, we're not going anywhere. Okay, we're going somewhere. Oh, no, we're not. And I just was like, listen. At some point, I had to wake up and smell the coffee and be like, this ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere at all. And he's only 3 hours from me. We could have been had something. 3 hours door to door. My church doesn't have anything for singles. That sucks. Like maybe you and Ashley should start something.
Where they live?
They're in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you guys should bring that up to your pastor because your pastor seems real cool. Like when he was on your podcast interview, maybe he would back it, because that's something that Redefined TV says.
Yes, you have to have singles. No problem. Singles in the church.
Yeah, that's something Redefined TV says too. They're like sometimes when you don't see something, it's because you're meant to start it. And that's something I've been wanting to start a meetup for a while, but I know right now I don't have the bandwidth to really host events and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why I haven't done it because I don't want to start a meetup and then it's like we're never meeting up. Like that defeats the whole purpose of a meetup. So I'm like, let me get my life to a point where I really have free time, where I'm not pressed to have to work and show up for business stuff and whatnot. And then I could host a meetup because I have a lot of great ideas, but I just like to be committed if I'm gonna do something. Because people
a lot of them don't live here because I love to do Friday night stuff.
Exactly.
We used to do that with church all the time.
Oh yeah.
We talk about topics and
you invite people because that's another good way to meet people too. Friends of friends.
Yeah,
they
so
bring
we just
someone.
invite people over and everybody talking. Even the ones who start random nonsense, but they still come in. It used to be a lot of fun. Look like the church that I'd liked.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have gotten a lot of activities to go to, but I didn't see anybody to buy a bunch of women.
Hey, Michelle. Michelle is the woman of the hour. We were inspired to talk about this because of your situation. Okay, like after I got off the live last night, I told my mom, I was like, I'm so happy for her. Like, I'm so
job
excited.
Well done.
Right, and to think that literally Memorial Day we were hanging out, and this wasn't even in the cards. Like we weren't even thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna be how I finish the year. And now look at you, a whole bay, okay, and not having to compromise your standards. So you're about to be the poster child for this topic for the next few weeks in my dating series. I'm gonna be referring to you like, yeah, my sis, she didn't settle, she didn't, waver on her standards. Now she got herself a good man. We praying for y'all. We hope it lasts because I'm just here for it. You're not the first one either. Like 2 other people have hit me up like, oh my gosh, your advice helped me. So I'm like, listen, I need to just go ahead and take this cert and we just gonna make it happen. Yeah, let me get a picture. Hold on, I'm multitasking.
I'm going to add a little bit. My grandmother used to add flour to thicken the stew. I don't like it thin because when you're doing curry, the curry gives it the consistency of the thickness. But when you're doing stew, Granny used to do flour to give the thickness, or you can pick a potato or 2 and crush it. I didn't put a whole. I only put 14 little potatoes in it because the potato is a lot of starch. And I'm not trying to, I'm diabetic, bad diabetic. That the A1C is never right. Even though everything else in my body is fine, no protein, no this, all, everything is great. But A1C is horrible. So I don't try to put too much of a starchy thing. So I put a little bit of breadcrumbs. I'm gonna drop a little bit to give you, but you can mash that potato 1 or 2 and get the thickness in the stuff. Okay, now you have to come out of the pot and say the spiel. Where I'm getting clips for a video and doing a live because what we're not going to do is be recreating stuff, okay? Yeah, we tried that last week and it was over the whole thing. Yeah, it was an epic fail. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the stew is done. Nice color on the chicken. And I'm going to put a little bit of breadcrumbs. My grandmother used to put flour. And these potatoes, you can take 1 or 2 and crush it to give give it thickness. Because when I make curry, you don't have to do that because the curry powder gives it the thickness. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of breadcrumbs and let it bubble up for about 3 minutes, and it's finished.
Okay.
Now I use plain
Oh,
breadcrumbs.
wait. I stopped.
That was quick.
1, 2, 3.
No, I'm just saying I use plain breadcrumbs because the seasoned one kills this. You know, if you're just seasoning chicken to bake or so, the seasoned one is kind of good. But when you're going to put it in stew, I use the plain one. And when I used to bake bread, I would make my own breadcrumbs. But my children told me to stop baking bread because I'm going to get them fat. And I'm not supposed to be eating a whole lot of bread. So I'm out of the bread business. I'll bake bread one day so you guys can see. But I don't do too much bread. I used to bake bread every other day. Nice fresh bread.
All right, now I'm done recording until it's done. But needless to say, you about to be the poster child, Michelle. Michelle said, "Hey, Mama Martin."
Hi, Michelle. Job well done.
Oh, Ashley, you are going out tonight. Hey, ladies' night. Y'all about to have fun. So remember the tips. And don't be speed walking because I had to check y'all on that at the beginning of the year when we did our live. The key is to slow down. Slow down and be available because no guy is going to chase you down. And if he did, you'll probably call the police. So for good reason. And he's definitely not going to want to interrupt you if your head is like buried in your phone or something like that. So be available and try to scout out, like, you know, try to be in his line of sight and just take it from there. I have these videos planned. It's on my list. I have so many exciting videos coming up, y'all. But it's not about me. It's about this chicken stew in my mom's channel. So whole boo situation. I'm so excited for you. Come on, tips. Y'all know I stay with the data tips. I done been, you know, around this game too long to not be sharing the gems that I learned. Relationship coaching is so you. And you know, the funny thing about that is when I first started coaching on my other page that I'm closing down now, I wanted to do relationship coaching, but my coach at the time was like, you know, like see what people want from you and stuff. And so when I was doing market research, people were asking me more about business and stuff like that. But the way that I was encouraged to do market research, I don't think was the wisest. Like I should have just went off of honestly my YouTube analytics because you guys are really like my main audience. So, you know, it is definitely something in the cards, but I'm like, it's so crazy that you say that because that was my initial thing I wanted to do. My mom's making old-fashioned chicken stew, how we make it in Guyana.
Yes, man, you don't put much because it could also be old-fashioned and a reasonable dish. Because back home, you know,
Right.
You mind fowl, as they say. You always have fowl, which is the older chicken running around your backyard. You grab one. I don't kill them because I don't like it. But everybody would kill a fowl, pull out the feathers, clean it up nice, cut it up, and make stew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an affordable dish. And
It
in
is.
these days, well, I haven't gone to the supermarket since February of last year. Once COVID got really, really bad, I stayed in the house because I don't need to be getting anything out there. And then I have my children got to be running around trying to make sure that I breathe and this and that.
Yeah, anyway, got time.
I like to do what I'm doing, be busy and everything else. So I don't know prices like that. They would
Prices
come
are
back.
going up.
They would come back and complain that, you know, the money we leave and go with didn't get all the stuff that you put on that list.
Yeah, like things are getting expensive.
I still think that chicken might still be the cheapest. Chicken
and pork are always the cheapest. Beef is too expensive.
Beef is expensive. You want to
Fish
steak
is not
and you have
bad,
to have almost $30.
Yeah, anybody got time? None at all. No free clout, Michelle. None at all. And yes, ponytail. I had to give him the ponytail tonight. It's Friday night. We letting the inches hang, the bundles. Okay. Literally didn't think it. And it goes to show love can hit you at an unexpected time. Because you want to tell them the story of how you and dad met. Real quick and dirty though, because this is like a long time ago. So
I met him back in the day. We worked in the same bank. And then he left and he came to America. And I was doing my business. I was still working in Guyana and I had my restaurant and so on. And then I was walking down Nostrum Avenue and I hear, Connie Durant. And I'm thinking, who's yelling my name out there? So I turned around and it was him. He said, Joel, I ain't seen you such a long time. He said, you live in here, you're on vacation. And I said, well, I'm getting ready to come to live here. I used to do business here and stuff and whatever. He said, you know, must take this my number, must give me a call and can I call you? I said, yes, call me anytime. And then he said,
can we just shout out that game though? Like how slick that was. Dad had game. He wasn't thirsty with it, but he was like direct. So yeah, just had to point
yeah. And then he would call me, and then how we come to actually go out, he said, let's take Junior out, because Junior, my 48-year-old son, is from my first marriage. And I said, why you want? He said, I'll try and love McDonald's. Well, Junior used to see McDonald's 10 blocks away, the arch, and he would, oh, McDonald's, I can't see it, but he saw it. And we decided that, okay, we'd take him out to thing. But we ended up in Washington, D.C. He brought me to introduce me to his friend and his friend's wife. I said, why would you do that? He said, oh, I just wanted to meet Claudia. I said, okay. And we came, and then we went back down. So then he started bothering me all the time. And one day he said, will you marry me? I said, what? He said, you know, I know you a while. You're a good catch. You're a straightforward woman. I think the thing's something bubbly. Yeah, finish. You're straight to the point. And I think we will make a fine couple. And then we can get a few more children instead. And I love Junior. So we are gonna, I said, look, boy, let me tell you something. I said, this is it, straight. I said, I wasn't planning to get married again to anybody because I can take care of me and I love it. I said, but if you're going to marry to me and I'm going to say yes, this is how my life goes. Because my father died. I'm so much older than my younger siblings, and I took over with my mother to make sure that they're educated and everything goes right with them and everything else. I said, and that's never going to stop. Nobody can stop me. As soon as you open your mouth and say that I can't do it, you have to go. Period. I said, this is what I do. This is the way it's going to go. And not that they come first, but you have to respect what I'm doing. The day my father died, I told my mother, I had to tell the woman that her husband was dead. And I told her I've made that promise that I will always be there until the day I die. Because once I'm dead, I can't do anything else. I said, and I'm not changing that. So think out long and hard, because this is what you got to put up with. I said, I have 4 younger siblings, and that's the way it goes. And he didn't take long to think about it. He said, you want to tell me the same day? Yes. But he said, you know, I can't look like if I really desperate.
Like, say less. Let's go now. Like.
So the next day he said, you know, I know your mom, and I knew your dad. Your dad was a nice man. And if that's what you're doing, we'll do it together. He said, because it's all about family. I said, why are you so quick with this? He said, because I'm being honest. He said, why are we talking foolishness and back and forth and arguing over something? If that, and I want to marry you, I would have to do it anyway. So might as well I get straight to the point.
Yeah, might as well do it.
And that was it.
And y'all been married how long now? Almost 40 years.
Exactly.
So a man will let you know when he wants you. So if you have to do the guessing games and all that, sis, he don't want you. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I'm talking from the trenches with you, sis. I'm not coming at you sideways. I'm still in the trenches with you, but we just gotta wake up and smell the coffee.
Wake up and smell the coffee. And he said, do you want a big wedding? I said, no. My first wedding was almost 500 people in the best hotel in Guyana. My father was a member of parliament.
Yeah, so he was a politician.
Yes, he was a politician, and the president was there, and the prime minister, and the who and the who. I said, who's going down the road again? Not me. I said, so simple, that's it. And he said, okay, I need to call your mom and tell your mom this and see if she agrees with what you say. And mommy's told him, of course I agree. Because my husband is dead. The person who write the check for the wedding in a room, and I'm trying to be getting into all of that mess. So you guys do whatever, you have my blessing. I never had no trouble with that man.
Nope.
Whatever I wanted, I got.
And he
was that he could have afforded.
And he was he's still alive.
He's still alive, he's just sick.
He's in Guyana. So, but yeah, y'all, you will know. Michelle said, come on, had you given me sound advice from the beginning. I'm so thankful. God knew that we needed to connect. And we got to thank Yasmin for that, because like I had seen you in the comments, but you know, you don't want to just be sliding random DMs because I didn't even know if you were local. But Yasmin was like, yeah, y'all should hang out. So that's how I met Michelle through Yasmin.
Oh,
And then
okay.
we went out Memorial Day, and it's been like sisterhood ever since. So I'm always glad to give advice because I'm like, even if I'm still in the trenches struggling, it's like I've just come to a point in my life where I'm like, look, if I could reach back and help somebody else to avoid the things that I've been through, or at least share some game because I done been in these streets, then let me do that. Like, let me just share some games so we can get more women into healthy relationships.
Yes, you can just not tell people things because.
But a lot of women move out of bitterness. Because that's what
bitter.
me and my prayer partner were talking about earlier. Like, they can be in my situation where, because I was telling her where I feel like I'm in a situation where I'm shepherding women into healthy relationships with themselves, with men, with family, whatever. I'm just really helping them in their lives, which is what I wanted to do. That's the whole point of my business and, Daily Dale brand or whatever. But it's like, what I can do for other people hasn't been able to be done for me by myself yet. And when you're in that situation, this is my morning motivation for Monday, but y'all getting the sneak peek here. You're just going to hear this message again Monday morning. But it's like, you can be ushering people into their greatness. And then you're like, dang, like, how come I can't do it for me? And then what happens, a lot of people end up getting bitter. And I've been there. I've had my seasons of bitterness. I've had my seasons of like, God, like, what's up? How come I can do this for everybody else and I'm still struggling? But I'm just at a point now where I'm like, okay, well, if this is the mantle I got to carry, if this is the position in life I'm going to have, then I can die saying I lived in my purpose and I can hear job well done. Like that's what it's about for me. If the man comes, he comes. If he doesn't, whatever. But it's purpose for me.
Whatever's for you in this world, you will get it even if it's the day before you die. And I would say to her,
well, when it comes to a man, I don't want him the day before I die. Like, he can go ahead and stay where he's at. He can stay where he's at.
She used to laugh. And she would say, it's just a term that we use. She said, wait. She said, you have to wait. You have to be happy.
Wait on the Lord.
Wait on the Lord.
Like that song by
be of good courage.
Donnie McClurkin and Karen Clark shared, I think. Wait on the Lord. Camera woman, okay? And getting the angles. My mom has it easy because she's got me getting angles, zooming in, saying cut, go. For me, I got to do it all on my own.
Yeah, because if I don't do it, she don't say cotton. Give me angles. I don't even know what she's doing. I know the cooking. And then I don't see. So I'm looking at the screen and I see in black and white, but, not too much of anything else. But I still cook on those things because I know that like the back of my hand. Yeah. And my kitchen is set for me. So when I go and I touch something, I know exactly what to pick up. And all that. Only one morning, about 2 months ago.
It's done when it starts boiling, right?
I eat oatmeal every morning. And I put the oatmeal and sometimes I put creamer. I don't put milk, I put creamer. I put cinnamon, walnuts, and blueberries. Well, that morning I'm busy making the thing. And I don't know how the paprika got on the shelf where the cinnamon is supposed to be. But I pick it up, just stretch my hand, pick it up, and shake it in the thing. And then I look down and I said, this color look kind of funny. So I called Rochelle. Come and tell me if I did it right. She said, you just put paprika in your thing. And then she thought it was funny. She said, oh, you could eat it, it's savory something. I said, no.
That's like when my nephew was trying to make, Shay said, your girl be on a mission all the time. I have to tell myself, beware. And so, yes, slow down. No speed walking. Your cane is not going to chase you, literally. But, when my nephew was making oodles and noodles when we were still in Virginia, and he likes to doctor it up and add garlic powder, onion powder, all the little green onions and stuff. And so he was about to pour the onion powder in, and my mom didn't put the lid back on properly. So he was like, okay, I'm just going to pour a little, like a whole bunch of onion powder went in the pot. He was just like,
and I had to hustle and go. At that time, I still used to see. Not clearly, but it's just January. I woke up, and then one day it's like, well, this is it. And I go and I start scooping it up. I said, stop fussing, just let's scoop before the water absorbs it. So we got quite a bit of it. So I didn't throw away my oatmeal. I told Rochelle, come on, scoop it up. She said, it's going to taste nice, it's savory. I said, you eat that kind of stuff.
That strong onion taste with soup, I'm good on that one.
This is supposed to be oatmeal with cinnamon, not paprika.
And look at you, Michelle, giving data tips. Michelle says, slow down and don't sidewalk in the store and make eye contact without staring. I remember you told me the day we went to work. Yeah, like, because you don't want to stare him down like, I see you, seeing me, or want to talk, but you just want to be inviting. Like, you should be like floating on air, linger a little bit. I always linger in the store. That's not something I have to try to do because I get distracted. I'm like, oh, let me go see what they got over here and this and that. But I really just be like chilling. And I don't wear ear pods or earbuds when I'm out because I like to be alert. Like, that's the background investigator in me. I'm just like, I don't want to have my ears clogged because if someone's walking up behind me or something, I need to be like on the swivel, like, why are you so close to me, type of thing. So I'm always kind of free, and I rarely talk on the phone because I don't walk with my earbuds, and I don't like to have to be pushing the cart and like, my phone's like this, shoulder hurting and stuff. So that's not hard, but walking, that's intentional because I have long legs. I'm 5'11". I'm on a mission, I'm like, we getting in here. Now, if I got someplace to be, like I'm in the middle of an Uber, yeah, I'm walking fast. Like yesterday when I went to Albany to get this chicken, there was nobody in there to even want to be talking to me anyway.
When you walk with me, you're always walking fast because my leg's short.
Well, I walk a little slower. I try to walk a little slower when we're together. But in Albany, I was speed walking because I had 2 Grubhub orders and they were paying me like $15 each. So I was like, I was pushing the cart. I was like, great for 11 apples chicken. Like,
did you look for oranges?
No, because I had to hurry.
Because you were in a hurry.
Yeah, I was swinging the cart off fast.
When I take one bag with orange and 2 grapefruits.
Oh, no, 3 bags of grapefruits. Yeah, I was throwing stuff in the trunk of the car. I just threw the cart back. I was like, I gotta go. So when my coin is on the line, I'm walking fast. Like, you're going to have to chase me if you think, oh, you're right, because I got to go. But other than that, if I'm not trying to sneak in a store in between Grubhub or Uber Eats, I'm more than likely chilling. And especially because I tend to go to stores like Walmart. Target is a luxury. I don't go to Target. I ain't got Target money right now. But, I do get quite a bit of things from Walmart. Like this whole outfit right now is from Walmart. So I'll swing by and be like, oh, let me go see if they got any sweaters and stuff. And I'll linger in the women's clothes or buy the men's clothes. So it's easy to kind of be positioned. And then sometimes I'll obviously go to the kids section and look for stuff for Christian. So every now and then I'll see like a single dad there and stuff. So, you just got to be positioned. And the park is a good place. So if you're a single parent watching this, the park is good. The playground. That's how Michelle got hers. So that's something I do need to do more of. But again, like I said, my schedule's so crazy. It's a mess. Oh, yeah, don't speed walk. Okay, because I was like, wait, what's sidewalk? But I was like, we just going to go with that. I thought you meant like walking on the side of the aisle. I was like, I can see that. Like, don't sidewalk, just walk in the center of the aisle. I mean, that could be good. You'll kind of be blocking him, but he'll have to talk to you, to say, excuse me.
And hopefully next
year,
man, there'll be a lot of weddings.
Yeah, well, I'm already speaking that in Michelle's life. Now, me and Shay, the jury is still like, Shay put up a white flag last night. I was like, no, we're not putting up the white flag. I'm speaking husbands. All 2022, I'm telling you, he's coming. He's close. We just got to stay faithful, okay? We don't kiss enough frogs. We don't deal with enough clowns. We almost out of the circus, girl. We almost out of the circus.
Clowns more than anything else.
That part. There's an abundance of clowns. Christian looks like your mama. Okay, I'm glad you see it because people be like, oh my gosh, he looks like you. And I'm like, no, he looks like my mom. Okay, like when I pushed him out and she held him, like I held him first, of course, but then she had to hold him so they could clean me up or whatever. And I was like, why do you look like my mom? Like all these months I carried you, I thought you would at least look a little like me, but he looked straight like my mom. And he has a lot of her characteristics too. He's very bold, very determined. They be going back and forth with each other. But they're also like best friends.
Yeah, we always have a big yelling match at each other because he doesn't want to do what I tell him to do. And then he would sit there and call me and say, come get it. No. What are you supposed to say? Please. And then when you go and get it, you hardly want to say thank you. Says it begrudgingly. But we're besties because I am here. He is here. I don't go out much anymore because I can't drive. I can't see to drive. So
you guys know I stay working.
I gotta wait for Rhonda to carry me somewhere, which is rare. I mean, if it's church, when we used to go to church every Sunday, when that was great and stuff and things. But then COVID took that away from us.
Hot mess.
The church, but he's my bestie.
They do everything together. Girl. Michelle's laughing at you saying, look, boy, today. Yes, keep your head on the swivel. The park is where you met him. Hey, which park, though? Like, share some gems with me real quick. And then text me which park you met him at. Because I'll commute. I'll go, because I know you're more, like, towards the city than I am. But I'll commute. Because out here, it's a lot of families where I live. It's a lot of families. So I'm no homewrecker, so we're not going down that path. But there's probably like one park near us in Hiram by the pavilion where I see a lot of in Hiram. There's a couple parks, but yeah, I don't like going to the one in Hiram though because it's really crowded. And I don't like Christian because Christian gets intimidated sometimes by crowds. So I like the one
doesn't like crowds.
Yeah, I like the one going like if we're going to Villa Rica, if I'm saying that right. Villa Rica, whatever. But it's like more west. That one is more open land. Like you can play soccer. There's two playgrounds. There's
Isn't there a park in front of by the zoo?
The zoo? I mean, there probably is, but that's all the way downtown.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So, and I don't like to linger downtown. Shay said I put my flag down, but just know it's on my side waiting for me. We are not going to tap out yet. Now, if the end of 2022 comes, you're like, listen, and nothing happened, all right, I'll give you the permission to put up your white flag. Just to gather yourself, take a break, and then come back in the game. It's like, you can't give up. Girl, we call it the single dad part. What? Wait, how come I'm not finding out about it until now? It's a small park in Tucker, Georgia. Ooh, and that's a good zip code too. Wait a minute. Text me the name because I'm slacking. Christian about to be playing all in Tucker, Georgia because I did not know this park actually had a name. I'm so behind. Like, yeah, I definitely need to.
Okay, you're always working.
Yeah, the grind don't stop.
I'm really working.
Yeah, this is out the way. This is definitely more family land here. Yes, I'm gonna text you the name. Yes, because listen, okay. Christian about to be having some really good times. Because I could pick, like, once I get past this kind of holiday rush and stuff, I could pick one day a week and make that time. Like, okay, we're going to go to Tucker. Because Tucker's not super far, but, I do have to make the time. And so we just go there, we chill, and then I just bring him back, so.
And he likes to go to the park. I loved it when he was in Virginia.
Yeah, yes. Christian and Joseph can play together. Honestly, they need to because we've been talking about this for months. We need to quit slacking, but I know our schedules are so busy. But yeah, we're gonna plan this play date though, and then maybe it'll be easier because it's like both our kids are there, we're talking, but you can be like, we gonna strategize. We're gonna strategize. Like,
let's keep your eyes on the kids as well.
Of course, of course. I think they'll have fun together because Christian likes to be the big kid, so. Quote unquote. So especially because he's about to turn 5. Yeah, he's definitely gonna love that.
In a few days, and how old are gonna be, Christian? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, he's loving it. He is loving it. I still can't believe I have a 5-year-old. I still can't believe I'm somebody's mama. It feels weird. Like I look at him sometimes, I'm like, wow, like you're actually my child. Like you're a whole human out here, and I push you out. It's very weird, but. Nevertheless, y'all, we're going to show you this finished plate. Let me get a clip of you showing the finished part for the video. And then we'll show you the finished plate. And this will be an upload too. So the uploads, we try to make it short and sweet because ain't nobody trying to sit here for 30 minutes and watch you cook. No. That's what the live stream is for. But
for the live stream,
you can show the live and then I'll get the clip of you by the stove. But the videos, we try to keep 10 minutes.
Can you guys see? I can't lean it too much because the next thing I do.
My whole laptop.
Yes, and then I can't afford to buy a back.
Can y'all see that? That's the finished chicken stew.
Can you see?
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay.
And we're about to put it on a plate now.
Yes, and I made rice earlier.
Yeah. Well, let me get you by the stove holding the pot, and then I'll get a picture of the actual plate with my camera, the finished plate.
You want to come over and take the picture directly over the pot?
Oh, no, I'm going to take the picture after, but I just need a finishing clip of you being like, excuse me, like this is a finished stew. Thanks for watching, subscribe, all that good stuff. And then I'll get the picture with my actual camera.
Okay.
The pictures on my camera better than my phone. With some rice, yes. And I was saying the other day, Michelle, Shay, if you live closer, if you and Ash live closer, I would be dropping off food to y'all too. Because when we were planning our content the other day, my mom was like, so who's going to eat all this food? Because every week we're cooking. And I'm like, I know, I don't even eat that much. And so I was like, Michelle and my photographer are about to be getting some food. I was going to give the music producer some food, but he about off the roster, sis. So I'm going to have to text you because I forgot to tell you last night. I was so excited about your news. I totally forgot about this clown, but I'm gonna tell you though in the voice notes because he was gonna get some food, but he probably not getting no food now. Yeah, because this is a whole punctured chicken I cook. Who's eating all of this? And, right. And I got a whole big with the rice. Rice. And she said, and some cornbread. If we had made some cornbread, you already know it would have been on and popping. Yes, I didn't make cornbread. Not this time. Not this time because the starch
today I was thinking of that before Thanksgiving I should make cornbread and cheese bread because
Yeah,
I
you can make
I
both.
make two. I make the one with eggs and then I make the one with milk without eggs for both of them.
And we have some diabetic friendly recipes coming and vegetarian for people with health concerns. So stay tuned. Yes, off the roster. Okay. My mom be hearing all my escapades. I'm like, because she's like, oh, how's so and so? I'm like, oh, he got demoted. He's not on the roster anymore. It's a revolving door. All these frauds.
Thank God I'm going to be 71 on December 2nd. So I don't have to deal. You see, all these people, these fools out there who don't know what they want, they would have given me a heart attack.
But it's like, you know what I think about? And then I'm going to get this last clip so we can end. I always think of Beyonce's song, The Best Thing I Never Had, because Beyonce's high school boyfriend cheated on her. The one that he took her to his prom, I think he was older. He cheated on her. And I know right now, he's somewhere in a bar talking about how he used to date Beyonce, and the bartender's like, "You've had too much to drink." Okay, like we know good and well.
He's a taxi.
Right? So I'm like, and I know he's kicking himself. Like, I could have been married to Beyonce. What's wrong? So I always think of myself like that. Like all these dudes that slept on me, trust and believe. If they're not regretting it now, they definitely gonna regret it at some point. Like, dang it, I could have been with Debbie Dell. You know. But seriously though, it's like I'm too good of a woman, and so are you queens, to be out here settling for foolishness.
Yes, they don't need to settle for foolishness. They don't know what they want and be disrespectful and acting the fool.
Exactly.
And they go and get the people off the streets, them go off the street, gonna fix them good.
Exactly. Okay, let me get this last clip. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, this is the finished product. I stewed chicken, the little potatoes. No carrots today, but you can add carrots. I don't add carrots to too many things because I was told by the doctor the sugar. So I don't add it. But thank you guys for watching. It was fun. I'll see you again next Friday on the chat. And have a great weekend. Stay blessed and stay safe. Please do not forget to subscribe.
Okay, repeat that line because I pressed enter. Say repeat. Don't forget to subscribe as well and like.
Please
don't forget to like and subscribe. 1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
All right, y'all. So we are done. Thank y'all for hanging with us. Oh wait, we didn't even show. Well, y'all saw the stew in the pot. You'll see the picture of the stewed chicken on my mom's social media in the thumbnail because. Yeah,
because she has to take out her dinner. So when she take out her dinner, she'll
and I'm about to be on this Uber Eats grind, y'all.
What time is it now?
5 something.
5 something, yes. I'm going to eat pretty soon because I don't eat past 6 o'clock. Heavy food.
Yeah, so, but thank y'all. Don't forget to catch the replay.
You, ladies.
If you missed the beginning, don't forget to share this out. And like I said, every Friday, unless otherwise stated, we'll be doing food and fellowship. That's what this segment is called, food and fellowship, where we will be cooking and talking about topics, hot topics, current topics, whatever we feel like talking about. So invite your friends. Michelle said, can you do a cook with me? Like put the recipe up ahead of time so we can do it with you. Yeah, we definitely plan to do some of those.
Yes, sure. I can do that.
Yeah, so that's coming up for sure. Maybe after we hit 100 subs on this channel, we'll start doing that because then there'll be more people to join to make it more fun.
Yeah,
and things like that.
I made my claim, ladies, that by the end of next year, by the end of 2022, I have to have 1,000 people.
Yep.
And 4,000 watch hours.
Period. The
Period.
watch
so
hours.
You guys tell everybody.
Tell everybody. Your mom, your auntie, your cousin, and them, your enemies. Tell them all. The person that can't cook, this is a great way to let them know, hey, you can't cook, but without having to say.
You're going to learn.
And Michelle said, I love y'all's chemistry. Thank you. Yeah, this is my pea in a pod. So I'm about to go get this coinage though, because the grind don't stop. Bills still got to be paid. We ain't monetized yet, but we getting there. And I'm gonna leave this replay up, but y'all will see the thumbnail and stuff later tonight because I gotta get it off my camera and stuff. So yes, Michelle said, let me go subscribe for my other 2 emails. Okay, like I subscribed and I did that with y'all share if you're still on here last night with the Obedience Podcast. I logged into like 3 or 4 of my other Google accounts to subscribe to y'all. So, because I was like, let me help get these numbers up. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Shay, for joining.
So
and
much.
The silent watchers, thank you. I hope you enjoyed
Thanks, everybody.
And we will see you guys later. We'll see you next week.
Okay, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.